Okay, we're a little further now. I did a little bit more work to this. Brought up the values and places, just organized it a bit. I'm happy with it now. And I jumped into here. I'm using in the foreground raw umber, yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, touches of ultramarine blue here and there. More or less the same colors that I've used up here, but lower value and more ultramarine blue. I just couldn't see this spill of foreground land just dropping off the painting. Even if I lowered the value so much that I went very dark, it wasn't strong, it wasn't direct. So I decided to extend this foliage in the foreground. Same as I did in the last painting, it's as long as you don't draw too much attention to it and keep it cold and pay very careful attention to the shapes that you're laying in the foreground, it's an excellent device for closing down the scene. So that's what I've done here. I haven't painted them obviously, but I've washed them in, and they're more or less shaped to the way I'm going to want them. Also, this boulder in front, up until now, it was just this sort of mass of gray, and looked very much out of place. I needed to give it a little bit of shape, give it a bit of texture, a bit of, a hint of striation, so to speak. So that's what I've done here. I'm just washing in I've just sort of drawn in the lines. I'm ready to paint that now. Yeah, it's funny because I have all of this ready. I have all these articles in the painting that still need to be painted, but I've jumped to the foreground, right to here. Because the largest masses in this painting are A, the sky, and that's not even the most important one. B, this bush in behind here, this slice of land and this slice of land and this boulder right here. And then we go to the tree. So I'm not afraid to, rather than work from distance to foreground, I'm not afraid to place in the biggest, most important parts, or at least establish their values and colors before I go to the background. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to keep this foliage very dark and very cold. This will be also dark and cold. I'll be using ultramarine blue and raw umber, maybe hints of cobalt blue, and very little white. But I still need this rock to have a design. It just couldn't be a mass of gray. It has to be plausible, a huge boulder with many little cracks and rivulets and what have you in it. Once this is in place, I'm going to play with this one. I drew a few lines on there. That's not good enough. I'll have to work with that. Probably after this boulder is drawn in, I will go to this boulder, and then this rock, and then this stump. So I'm working further away again. This tree, I'm not fond of this shape. There are a number of shapes that are on here that are okay, but they need a little bit of refining. Some substantial changes, but not huge. None of them are going to be removed. They're just going to change the shape a little bit so that they work more congruently with the flow of the painting in general. Even back in the sky needs work. Where the bush meets the trees meet the sky. That's going to get work too. I'm going to be laying in a few higher values, and I'm going to introduce some of these colors right into the sky. Just little clusters, just to loosen up this area where the trees meet the sky. Even if it's a bit in the distance, I think it helps to do that. So I'll be laying a few strokes in the sky. I don't know that I'm going to bring much sky into the bush. I really kind of doubt it. Anyway, I guess really all I'm doing is showing you where it's at. And so far, so good, in my opinion. See you soon.